It's very unnatural how much meat we eat today. If you think back to even our evolutionary ancestors, they would eat meat when it was available to them. But today, the average American eats over 200 pounds of meat per year. Americans are among the top consumers of meat eaters. Part of the reason for that is meat is relatively expensive. So, why is it that Americans eat so much meat compared to other countries? Because we're relatively well off. Low income countries, they cannot afford to eat anywhere near as much meat as Americans.
The Industrial Revolution marked a turning point in American history, and the meat industry was no exception. As cities expanded and populations grew, the demand for meat skyrocketed. To meet this demand, slaughterhouses and processing plants grew larger and more efficient. But behind this rapid industrial growth lurked a dangerous reality: unsanitary conditions that put public health at risk and raised deeper questions about the ethics and sustainability of meat production. In the early 20th century, Upton Sinclair's The Jungle exposed the unsanitary conditions of the meatpacking industry, sparking public outcry and legislative reforms, including the Meat Inspection Act of 1906. These historical moments shed light on how industrial and societal meat consumption became solidified in culture despite its ethical, health, and environmental implications. The consumption of red and processed meats have been linked to a variety of health issues, including heart disease, cancer, and diabetes.
When you cram animals in very small spaces, it increases the chances that there will be new diseases that emerge, and those diseases can actually impact us as well.
It doesn't surprise me when there are studies that show that red meat gets linked to things like high blood pressure or cardiac events or things like that, because the life of the animal, the health of the animal, what the animal is fed is not very natural.
Meat production is a major driver of environmental degradation. It contributes to deforestation, water pollution, and greenhouse gas emissions.
You think about all the fresh water that you have to give to crops that you then give to the animals. When you think about all the land that you have to clear, all those forests that you have to get rid of in order to grow that food to feed to the animals or to put the animals on the land themselves. When you think about all the species that are lost as a result of that, the incredible biodiversity loss that is experienced.
To keep them alive, house them, put them in these confined spaces, and then once you kill them, you need to process the meat, you need to refrigerate it, you need to transport it, you need to package it, you need to process it. I mean, that's an incredible amount of energy which goes into, just say, 1 pound of beef.
Our group's volunteering efforts at Evergreen Park in San Jose involved removing bunches of invasive weeds surrounding the trees. This act helps restore the local ecosystem by promoting biodiversity, improving soil health, and ensuring the long-term survival of native plants and trees. Ultimately, our work is a stepping stone towards a cleaner, healthier environment for the park. The resource-intensive nature of animal farming underscores the urgency for more sustainable food choices to mitigate environmental harm.
Plant-based meats like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods are really exciting because they allow people to eat the foods that they love, meat, but mimicking the taste and textures of those products without a lot of the downsides.
You know, compared to eating meat where it's heavy, it's difficult to digest, it takes a lot of energy to move it through the body. Vegetables go in, it's naturally absorbed, and it goes out. So being vegan in terms of, performance, it's huge.
More people are recognizing the health, environmental, and ethical issues with meat. A growing movement towards plant-based and alternative proteins is transforming food systems. With innovation and awareness, a future with less meat promises better health and a more sustainable planet.